Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another video. How's everybody doing? In this video today, we're talking about the top 10 canceled GTA features and missions that you probably don't know about. So I've always been fascinated, like especially in movies, but TV shows, books, games, any type of media, with things that get deleted and features that are cut and stories that are like if you ever have like a DVD or a Blu-ray or something like that. And you look at the deleted scenes for a movie or a show. It's just kind of, I don't know, I just think it's interesting. The things that get cut, get taken out. And a lot of times, especially in games, some of the things like part of it's left over, and it's just, I don't know, I just think it's kind of interesting. It's just kind of, it's cool how that works. So I want to go through the top 10 things, or at least, top 10 in my opinion, in GTA, things that were in the game, but then before it came out, Rockstar got rid of them, because there's actually some pretty cool things you might not know about. The first one, number 10, there were supposed to be horses, and can you believe this? There's supposed to be horses in GTA 5. Now, I was pretty sure myself, like I don't know if it was in a trailer or what it was exactly, that there were horses. I just remember hearing that there were going to be horses. For some reason, I feel like I recall seeing a trailer where they were riding horses. I'm not sure that that's entirely true or not, but I do remember seeing horses. However, they were meant to appear in the game because from what I've read, the Vinewood racetrack, ranches, farms, things like that have like all the, there's like a stable, there's a barn, things like that. But basically, I guess the consensus is it would have been too similar to Red Dead Redemption. So the horses were taken out. But officially it was unknown. Removed for unknown reasons, but certain files were left over that kind of confirm as much. Number 9, there were supposed to be soldiers in GTA 4. So a lot of this information is courtesy of GTA Wiki. I'll put the link down in the description below. I'm just reporting on what I was able to learn here. So essentially, the idea is that in GTA 4, obviously in GTA 5, there's Fort Zancudo. And stuff like that, and the army does play a role, which actually this has to do with actually one of the other things that I'm going to talk about here. But very similar to that, when GTA 5 you have the army or you have Fort Zancudo. They were supposed to be kind of the same thing. They were supposed to be soldiers in GTA 4. Supposed to be the military in the game, but there is not. As you know, there's just the LSPD and the SWAT. Really, there's no army there. But originally the army was supposed to have a role in the game, but the army was cut. Along with some other things like that, which I'm going to get into here, but I just thought that's interesting because there were no, there aren't planes or things, or there really wasn't any of that like GTA 5 has. It was just kind of the cops, and that was it. But originally soldiers were supposed to be in the game. Number 8, GTA 5 was supposed to have a 6-star wanted level. So as you know, in GTA 4 you can get 6 stars, 6-star wanted level, which is the most intense. You get the cops, you get the SWAT team, you get the helicopters. They're popping off at you from the helicopter, all kinds of things like that. GTA 5 was supposed to have that. It was removed from the game, but it's still referenced in the game's files. So a lot of times with these things, you find out, looking through the game's files, like things that aren't in the game, but you can see evidence that, at one point it was there. In this case, there's code in the game that confirms it from what I've read. This was on Kotaku. I hope I said that right. I read about this. There's code called player set _ max _ wanted level, or actually wanted _ level, and then the number 6 in parentheses. So there's evidence for that. Also, as the story goes, there was supposed to be, like, at 6 stars, when there was a 6-star wanted level, the military was supposed to come after you with the 6-star wanted level. I think a lot of that's rumor. I know there's mods that have a 6-star wanted level now where the military comes after you, but it was, we know from what I've read that there was supposed to be 6 stars, and it's rumored that the military comes after you with 6 stars, which that would kind of be interesting to see how that would work. But ultimately it was cut from the game, and you got to settle with 5 stars, which is pretty difficult in and of itself. Number 7. So in GTA 4, as you might remember, there were vigilante missions. So there were, essentially like you get in a cop car and on the computer, and there were callouts, and you could kind of be a cop. GTA 5 does not have that, but it was supposed to have that. But it was ultimately cut from the game. Now GTA, it's got all kinds of other, things for you to do. The problem is most of it's, GTA Online, like single player, there really isn't, because these were in single player in GTA 4. But it's not in GTA 5. There is the bounty hunting side mission for the bail bonds for the Strangers and Freaks missions, but those are only for Trevor, and it's not like the the missions like we know in GTA 4 where you can actually be rolling with the police or as the police. So those were cut from GTA 5. Number 6, GTA 5 was supposed to have laser sights, if you can believe that. As a matter of fact, judging by these screenshots that I found that I'm showing you here, usually when something in a game, like if you can actually see it, like there's actually like evidence of it, like you can find a way to enable it with a mod, or there's a picture out there of it, that means that they got rid of it very, very late in making the game, very late in the development cycle of the game, and it was taken out. So just judging, the fact that there's pictures here of what that would have looked like shows you that it really they intended to put it there, but eventually was taken out from the game. Reasons why, I mean, there aren't reasons that are known. I would assume that maybe like GTA Online, there's like, I don't know, there's a lot of players, everybody has the light shining at each other. Also, like the range of it, if it's got a long range, like it's kind of unclear how far that would shine. Because GTA, it's not like a like a Call of Duty or something like that where it's a small map. It's a huge map, so it just seems like logistically that might be might not exactly fit in. All right, so number 5, this should actually probably be higher up on the list because it is probably one of, if not the greatest GTA myths of all time. Planes in GTA 4. So as you know, there were no planes in GTA 4, but there were supposed to be planes in the game from what I've read, but they were ultimately cut. Some people speculate that it had to do with 9/11, so the game came out in 2008, but realistically they started working on it 2005, 6, 7, in that range, so kind of relatively that was relatively recent in the rearview mirror. GTA 3 was actually, a lot of things were changed because that came out in late 2001, so a lot of things were changed to make that a little bit more a little bit cleaner of a game, just in light of that. So GTA 4, as you know, it's set in New York, and so a lot of people think that planes were taken out because, well, you can connect the dots. You don't want people, doing stuff like that in the game, and so obviously, if there were planes and people would do that, I mean, there were already enough people trying to ban GTA 4 when it came out. For a ton of other reasons, so they didn't really need that, which is one explanation, but I think that that's been, since debunked, really the consensus, at least from Rockstar or among people in the know from what I've read, is that the map wasn't big enough to have planes. Like, if you think about it, you could really kind of get from one end to the other end of the plane very quickly. The map wasn't really as big. So realistically, the helicopters were sufficient. You didn't really need a plane to get from one side of the map to the other. Just that, it just wouldn't, it wouldn't make sense given the size of the maps. So that's the consensus of why planes were actually taken out of GTA 4. Also, you see planes flying, but they're never taking off or landing at the airport. Speaking of airports, number 4 on the list is a second airport in GTA 4. So this is a map that was either in the game files or it was a beta map at one point. This was the map for the game here, and as you can see, there is a second map over on second airport in Alderney, kind of over on the bottom left there. And I think the strongest evidence for this is if you go, if you play GTA 4, you know that in that part of the map, there's really just nothing there. It's like a big kind of field with a bunch of junk in it. Like, it's not it's a big field, like big open area where there's really not a whole lot there, and it's just kind of just all junk. Like, there's really not a whole lot going on there, and so the idea was there was another airport there, but because there's no planes and because you can't fly planes, then there really wasn't a point in having another airport in the game, so that was ultimately removed. Number 3, going back to GTA 5. So GTA 5, this was the original. Again, this is courtesy of GTA Wiki. You can check that out. This was originally the map for GTA 5. So it was it seems like a much bigger map. Like, much bigger. I mean, almost double the size, I might say. I think, if you really look carefully at this, and I know it's not like the highest resolution picture to be looking at, but what can I say? It seems like the biggest differences here is if you look essentially at the north part of the map. So you can see where the military base is. It looks like that road, that whole situation there is different. And then that river that came in and connected to the lake, the whole lake is removed. What's it, like the Lago Zancudo or whatever? The lake's gone. There's no lake in the map at all. There's just these two little, not really rivers, but I guess rivers that are there in the north part of the map. But there's no lake. The airport is in a different place. And then if you go down to Los Santos, the east side of the city there is much more wide open. I assume those would be hills because there's no roads there, which are still there now, but they're not obviously not that big. Then you have the freeway that comes out of the east part of the city and goes all the way up the east coast like that, which is different than what's there now because it's not quite as wide. And then you also have, looking up the top part of the map, I assume that's all mountains because it's all blank. There's no roads there or anything like that. But I mean, it's just the overall height of the map is much more significant than in the finished game. So ultimately, that was changed. I think it was changed for the better because, I mean, like as you can see, in the top part of the map and then like the top left part of the map under that top river there's just nothing there. So it just seems like there's more space, but there's not really anything going on with the space, so that was ultimately changed, as we know. Number 2, I think this is one of the most exciting things. GTA 5 was originally supposed to have a mission based upon heat, if you can believe that. So as you know, three-leaf clover in GTA 4 was based on heat. But according to GTA Wiki, there was possibly another heist involving a heat-style bank robbery with the 3 protagonists dressed in suits and balaclavas, which I guess are masks. Hope I said that right. Had a massive shootout with the LSPD in the Los Santos downtown core. And then it also says that it was probably removed due to similarities, as I said, with the mission 3-leaf clover in GTA 4, which was literally heat. It was just kind of in New York as opposed to Los Angeles. And then there is also, backing this up, they have here for evidence, a screenshot with Michael in a white suit that isn't available in the game, and numerous artworks with 3 protagonists dressed in suits and masks can be found. And as you know, that's not actually a mission in the game. And then also that mission, so that heat style heist. So if you remember the big score at the end of the game, there's like part of it where you're like coming out of the bank and then you're walking down the street, which is kind of like heat. At least a little bit, but it's not as similar as 3-leaf clover is in GTA 4, and that mission was taken out. Finally, the most exciting thing probably, there were originally supposed to be jetpacks in GTA 4. Yes, jetpacks, something that's just been like rumored in GTA 4 and 3 and 5, like every game they've made. Going back to when, back when I was in school, like when the first few GTA games came out, I remember people would talk about, oh, you get the jetpack, well, you got to do this, you put this cheat code in, you got to get the jetpack, which is also, I mean, along with the planes in GTA 4 and things like that, the jetpack is like one of the most rumored things in GTA. Like, I'm sure there's mods for it and things like that, but it was in GTA San Andreas, as we know, but outside of that, it was not. The one thing that does kind of confirm this, as you can see here, is atop Mount Chiliad, there's a drawing of a person with a jetpack. As you know, like there's pictures like UFO parts and stuff, which actually are there, but there is not there's not actually a jetpack in GTA 5. But every game, like, it's rumored that there is, and it's because obviously it's something cool, but it does not manifest itself in the game nonetheless. All right, well, there you go. There's 10 things that were deleted and canceled from GTA, features and missions, things like that. Hope it was interesting. If you want to see another video like this, where I kind of give you the facts, let me know, and I'll make another one. But other than that, until next time, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching.